Willie Davis and Frank Mosier were enemies in life, but they're spending eternity together. The two railroad workers are buried not in any cemetery, but right along the tracks that divide the city of Edmond in two.
There were 6,000 men. This was the American frontier. There were fights, there were feuds. Right here, when the track was near Edmond, two 18-year-old men got into a fight and killed each other. They killed each other here, they were buried here, and it's where they remained for more than 100 years.
When the two men died almost 120 years ago, it was illegal to bury the dead on public land in Oklahoma Territory. The right-of-way on which they're buried is private property owned by the Santa Fe Railroad. That's who maintains the graves to this day.
I think it speaks to the reverence we have for our dead, the reverence we have for history as far as the establishment of what I would call an Edmond historical area. I think it just shows that we hope that we're dealt with the same respect that we pass.
Author David Ferris collects these stories for the books he writes about Oklahoma's mysteries. He says Edmond was also home to an illegal cemetery right across the street from what is now the University of Central Oklahoma. Ferris says the intersection of 2nd and Rankin, right underneath what is now a copy shop, was ground zero for the burials.
Authorities did their best to get as many bodies as they could removed from the area. It is thought that there were a number of graves that were not retrieved. And you could not leave this area undeveloped. The town is going to grow, so eventually subdivisions and homes were built upon what was formerly the Edmond Cemetery.
Some of the town's most beautiful old houses are located in the neighborhood, now said to be home to the most haunted house in Edmond. Although the exact location of that house is undisclosed, the stories continue to circulate.
All sorts of sounds, things being seen, the lady's child having conversations with unseen entities. After they moved, there were a number of Edmond police reports, allegedly, by the second resident who said he had seen a man hanging from the roof looking in the window.
Ferris says most of the illegally buried were moved to Edmond's Grace Lawn Cemetery, where they've rested in peace for over a century. The author explains why he is fascinated with the weird tales and spooky stories of his home state.
And in some cases, they've become a part of the folklore or the legend, or whatever you want to call it, of the state history. And if you were going to chronicle state history, it would be incomplete not to include such stories.
Ferris will be speaking about Oklahoma's mysteries Thursday night at the Edmond Public Library. The talk begins at 7 p.m. and all ages, living dead or undead, are welcome. In Edmond, Lori Rasmussen, the Oklahoma News Report.